Leticia Ferrer is getting excited about the upcoming Texas solar eclipse, and she wants you to join in that excitement. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh man, I'm so glad. I'm excited about this topic because it's something we don't get to talk about often enough. So I'm excited about it. But my first question is, I'm kind of thinking about it. When was the last time we had a total eclipse over the United States?
It was April 21st, 2017. I always get those two numbers messed up.
2017.
But, 2017. It came from the west to the east, starting in Oregon and ending in South Carolina. And it was just this beautiful path there. I personally saw it in Oregon with 22 friends and family.
Wow.
It was beautiful. In fact, we have a picture that my husband took.
I want to show this picture here that we have there. So what are we looking at right here? That looks really cool.
What you're looking at is my husband's picture of the diamond ring. It's the last moment when the sun is just disappearing behind the moon. It's coming through the mountains of the moon. It becomes this diamond ring effect. I like to say that my husband gives me a diamond ring as big as the moon every time there's a solar eclipse.
That's awesome. What is it about solar eclipse that got you excited, that you just get passionate about it, you travel to see it? What is it?
When you see the first one, the next question's, when's the next one? The first one I ever saw was in Mexico in 1991. And I got just this wonderful sense of awe because it is so beautiful. But the fact that I had to be here, that there is an earth that I'm on, there's a moon, there's a sun, and all of this happens whether I'm here or not. So I felt insignificant, but at the same time, like one of the luckiest people on the planet to be there and now.
To see it.
To see that wonder. And your pictures, your videos, nothing can compare to what the true experience is. The very first time, and I still get it, I still get that little gut in my feeling of fear in my stomach. The sun goes away. The thing that gives us life, that gives us heat.
In the middle of the day.
In the middle of the day is gone. And instead, you see this beautiful corona instead. You get to see all the sun rays coming out from behind the moon. And it's hard for me to describe, and other people have described it better, but nothing compares to being there.
To being there, actually seeing it. When you look at, we have a graphic that kind of shows what an eclipse is, and you probably remember this from school. But what I want to point out about this is, of course, we know the sun is hitting the moon, and that's the shadow you see where things get dark. But when you look at that graphic, it's only hitting one area of the Earth.
Yes.
And that's the sweet spot, right?
Yes, that's the sweet spot. If you want to see a total solar eclipse, you have to be in the path. You have to make sure you're totally in the path. And some people like to go to the edge because there's bigger diamond rings effects, but you really want to be as close to center line as possible.
So people do that. I mean, this is their vacation.
This is our vacations. This will be my next. I've seen 19. My next one will be my 20th.
Wow.
And this one in Texas here is going to be my 21st.
21st. You don't have to travel as far for that one.
No, I don't have to travel as far for that one.
So what are some common things, maybe mistakes we don't know about it? You know, we hear about it. It comes up in the news. For those of us that aren't following it, what are some things that maybe we don't know about eclipses that would be fascinating to know?
Well, first off, they're not as uncommon as people believe. Everybody says the next eclipse is April 8th, 2024. That's the next eclipse in the United States. The next eclipse is really April 20th, 2023, next year.
Okay.
And I'll be going to Australia.
Okay.
It's in a place, it's hitting Exmouth, it's going through Indonesia and onto the South Pacific.
Gotcha.
There's a solar eclipse usually every 11 to 18 months. I tried to catch the last one in Antarctica. Sadly, I got clouded out. But that happens.
Sure.
But that happens. There were a few people that got some great pictures, and you can see them on the internet. But it's just an amazing. One, I get to travel the world.
Sure.
I get to meet all sorts of people. The people that it attracts are people who are grateful and want to see wonder and beauty, and that's what they're there for.
Your website, by the way, TexasEclipses.com is where people can go to find out more information. Now, you mentioned it happens, every 11 to 18 months, but this event that's taking place that people are talking about, this is unique for those of us who aren't able to travel. Because now our studios are right here in Texas. Now look at this map here. This is the one that's coming up in 2024.
April 8th, 2024.
April 24th. That's going right over our studios.
It's coming right over the studio.
Right over the studios there. But what I like about this, you were telling us as we were getting in, there's an opportunity. This site, by the way, you can get to this site at texaseclipses.com. So that's what you need to remember. But you can actually put your address there where that arrow is, and it'll tell you exactly what time, what you're going to experience. That's fun.
One thing I will warn people: the times on this map are GMT, so you do have to do the conversion.
Do the math.
do the math.
That's what I have Ryan Reeves for. She helps me with that. So
Okay.
You brought a book. You wrote a book. I want to talk about this. This is exciting. So this obviously we can get this on your website as well.
Yes.
What can we find in that book?
So what you can find is the last time it came over here in Texas was in 1878. The last big eclipse for Texas was 1878.
Wow.
And what I talk about is just what Texas was then. There was a scientific expedition that went to Fort Worth in 1878. Fort Worth at that time had just incorporated like 5 years ago. They had just gotten their first railroad station.
That's crazy.
2 years before. There was still Hell's Half Acres
Okay.
in Fort Worth, which was kind of the red light district of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It's rather infamous.
Sure.
So that's where these people were from St. Louis, very well educated professors and scientists that traveled to the frontier to see this eclipse. And what was really interesting about it is just all the citizen science that went on at the time.
That's fascinating.
They engaged the community engaged back. They got people to help them with the drawings. Everybody set their watches so that they could help them record the time. What was also really interesting at the time is the fact that of their report, about 30% of it is where are we and what time is it? They were trying to get synced up with the watches back at the National Naval Observatory, and then they were trying to find their location using sextants.
Technology is just a little bit better.
It's a little bit better now.
Now Google knows where we're at.
Yeah. And plus the photography, actually drawings were better than the photography.
There you go. Yeah, some things don't always get better. Got about 40 seconds. So what are you going to do?
Safety.
Yes.
This is one of the things This is one of the things I want everybody to be aware of. You need to have viewers for the partial eclipse.
Okay.
Safety is important.
Okay, for the partial eclipse.
For the partial eclipse. Totality, you can see it with the naked eye, so you remove this at totality.
Okay.
But through all the partial eclipses and the annular eclipse, which is also coming through Texas, you want to have these, a viewer.
I like that. I think I look good. What do you think? You think this is a good? Well, you can't see through that.
You can't see. You see the sun through that, and that's it.
Which is the point, right?
Yes.
All righty. TexasEclipses.com is a website. Thank you so much for that information. And it's exciting if you are in the Texas area or across. Again, check out that map, see where you're at. We'll be back right after this.